The following is a production from Tremix World.
Hello. This video is intended as a response to Veritas 48's video, 5 Questions for Atheists. Now, I realize the video is somewhat old, but I thought it would make an interesting debut to my own existence here on YouTube. I hope you enjoy.
First, I'd like to preface with a little information about where I'm coming from. I consider myself to be a passive atheist, which means that I say I do not believe there is a God, as opposed to I believe there is no God. The difference is that I don't go around my life looking for ways in which God is not an influence. I simply see no influence of God. Or at the very least, there is nothing that I interpret as the result of a God. The idea of a God is simply not part of my life, which has allowed me to look deeper into science, into my mind, for answers. God is an easy way out. It demands very little intellectual analysis of the ways and whys of things in the world. To everything which has no answer or is too hard to explain, God is a very easy and convenient answer. If you don't know why something happened, you just say, God did it. It doesn't really require that much rigor into finding the actual answers behind the things in this world. So, to Veritas 48's first question. Why is there something rather than nothing? My first reaction to this question is that to answer why would be impossible for just about anyone to do, and I would suggest that even Veritas 48, though he might want to refer to God and his religion as far as creation goes, couldn't exactly explain God's reasoning in why he created the world. So I don't think either of us can really answer the question, or anyone for that matter, if you want to get a literal answer to the question, why. However, if we reinterpret the question, why, to mean cause and effect, then I believe science is hard at work in trying to find an answer. Cause and effect is asking why that object moved and answering with because something pushed it, and it is science's mission to explain all the effects by finding all of their causes. Logical scientific causes, mind you. I don't know why the universe is here, and the best science can do is look into how it got here, and there are an abundance of theories on that and a lot of research into it. Let's say the Big Bang is the theory you want to run with. Even scientists who believe the idea couldn't necessarily tell you why it happened or what came before it or even how it came to be. That's in no way an admission that God had to be part of it, but an admission that our science just hasn't gotten far enough to answer that question. Even if I turn that question around to a theist who thinks God created the universe, how did he do it? Do you know the steps he took? It's easy to go by what the Bible says, but something tells me that most theists can't go back and say, this is exactly how God created the universe and this is why. It's simply an unknowable question. Who knows? I mean, that's the ultimate answer, is who knows why ultimately everything is here. And again, while it might be an easy out for me, I think it's an easy out for anyone else to say, well, God created the world. God is the why to everything. God is the ultimate cause to all the following effects. It's just an easy answer. It doesn't require anyone who's religious to really investigate the reasons. So I'm going to be honest in answering the question and saying, I don't know. How could I possibly know why there is something rather than nothing? I find it interesting that Veritas says that if it's not for God creating the universe, then this is a awkward occurrence. Oh look, a universe and life. And where's God? Oh, how awkward. The bottom line is we're here. So somehow it happened. And if God wasn't part of it, then some things just happen. So, for Veritas 48's second question, what evidence do you find most persuasive regarding theism? My first reaction to this question is that if I did find any evidence of theism persuasive, then I probably wouldn't be an atheist. However, the question itself I think is rather impossible to answer because you're asking for evidence of theism, where theism is fundamentally something that can't be proven. It's something that you have faith in. So you really can't have evidence for theism. You can only have beliefs in theism. But I can reinterpret the question to mean what I think Veritas 48 probably meant it to mean, which is what issue or what question about faith would it be hardest for an atheist to explain or explain without a God, and Veritas 48 puts forth evil. And that wouldn't necessarily be what I think would be the hardest thing to explain. In fact, I think it's pretty easy to explain. I don't believe there is a force of good or evil. As far as I'm concerned, there is human nature, which is in part animal nature, and there is psychology. Good or bad is determined by our actions, and each of us has the potential to do good things or bad things, and that doesn't make you evil or good. It means that you've followed your human behavior and whatever psychological issues you might have in making some decision. You're not guided by a force of evil that somehow invades your soul, nor are you possessed of a force of good that always guides you to do good things. I can say what I find to be the most annoying argument from theism, and that is the question of the ultimate origin. What happened? Where did we come from? Where did the universe come from? And usually these arguments reduce down to, what came before that? What came before that? What came before that? Well, I can give you my best knowledge of scientific reasoning about as far back as the Big Bang. Beyond that, I'm sorry, but I just don't have an answer. Of course, neither does Stephen Hawking, and he's much smarter than I am. And no, that doesn't mean it must be God. They never found a gray hair in the background radiation. So whenever I've gotten into one of those arguments, and it hasn't been a while since I have been in one, the theist thinks they've got me, because I can't tell them what happened before the Big Bang, as if they could. So the theist says, well, it was God. And I say, what a shame science has been wasting their time for the past 3,000 years. The question itself suggests that I might have some doubt in what I believe or don't believe, as if there is some issue over which I might think, gee, maybe that is God. The bottom line on question 2 is that I have complete confidence in my atheism, and there's no chance that I would attribute anything in this world to an entity that doesn't exist, no matter how fantastic or inexplicable I think that thing to be. The unexplained is only that which humanity does not yet know or understand, and all that is fantastic is attributable to the ancient and persistent laws of nature. Please, continue watching. I'll continue answering the questions in my next video.